Hi, I'm back and I have a review here for you guys, and it's on the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. And if you'd like to hear my experience in using this foundation, please keep on watching. So I have a little demo for you guys that I'll show in a bit, but this shade is actually in medium 58. I had, I think, 64 was my last shade. However, that was too dark and it was oxidizing, and they gave me medium 58. I think it's a bit too light because, like I said, I got tanned and I did try to bronze a bit, but I think my old color, this would be good, or maybe one shade darker. So I am considering getting it one shade darker, but in terms of shade, I know it might be a little off, but I am working, but I'm just still testing it out. So for starters, I can tell you this much, that it does oxidize. So when you try it on, if you do get it tested in the store and it goes and you step into the sun or you sweat, once all that mixes up, it oxidizes on you. So that you may want to get like maybe one shade lighter than your skin tone, just so that when it oxidizes it looks well. Mine actually oxidized and looked orange, so I needed to actually get something else altogether, hence why I think they gave me like 2 or 3 shades higher. So that's a downfall. I don't like foundations that oxidize, but generally most of them, my Pro Longwear does that. Studio Fix Plus, I think Studio Fix, not Fix Plus, Studio Fix, Revlon Photo Ready, Revlon Color Stay. My CoverGirl 3-in-1 is like the only foundation that does not oxidize on me, and that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love it. Another drawback on this foundation is that it does not have SPF in it. It is a 12-hour wear, but a full coverage matte finish, but it does not have SPF. So I actually put on a BB cream or some moisturizer BB cream. It's tinted, which could also be the reason why I have a little cast, because that one is a bit lighter, but I use it as my primer because it has SPF. It's in this weekly basket, and then I put on this foundation. So we'll get on to that demo now, and then I'll give you full review, tell you what it claims as against what it does and all that kind of good stuff. Alright, so like I said, I have on primer, and yeah, did not put on any concealer or anything like that because we want to see how well it works, right? So one pump, and I will kind of stipple it into my problem areas. And if I didn't say, this is actually one of the Real Technique brushes. This one says it's buffing brush. And then another pump now for this side. Now if I had actually just swipe it or swirl it, 2 pumps would have pretty much completed my face, but because I'm stippling it, which gives you the best finish, like airbrush finish, you would just like a little dollop for up here, you would want to stipple it in. But if you just don't need a lot of coverage and you just want to do it like this without stippling, you just need to use 2 pumps. So I'm just gonna like buff it in now. As you can see, because of my tan, it's a bit lighter. Alright, so I'm finished buffing it in, well, pretty much, and what I'll do is just let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to actually put my powder and then bronze so that I can work on the color. Alright, so this is like a minute or so after, so I'm going to actually put all my powders and bronze and then come back to you guys. Alright, so full face of makeup, no scary moments. It says that it's full coverage. I think that pretty much this foundation is full coverage once you stipple it in. I wouldn't recommend using a beauty blender or beauty sponge because with the water, it actually takes away from the full coverage and will give you like medium coverage. If you use a buffing brush and you stipple it in, you definitely do get full coverage. If you want medium coverage, and you can just take the same buffing brush and just, you know, swipe it all over without pouncing it on your face, or you can use a beauty sponge, but make sure that it's not too wet and you have a bit of foundation, and as you stipple it in or pounce it in, you would get more like a medium full, but it is full coverage. 12-hour wear, I don't find that I get 12-hour wear with it. I don't actually keep it on for 12 hours. I think that's the corrected version. I don't keep it on for 12 hours, but it's very long wear. You know I love long wear foundations, hence why I love my MAC Pro long wear, and it does stay longer than my MAC Pro long wear. It does stay longer on my face than my CoverGirl 3-in-1, and I really love both of those, so that this fit to beat those, this is absolutely awesome. But I will do check-ins at the end of this video for you guys to see how well it is wearing. The next claim is that it's transfer resistant, and I find that it does transfer a bit, but notice that if you put it on and don't put any powder on top of it, it does not really transfer. But the fact that you have to put powder and then blush and all those kind of things, that helps with the transfer. And then if you sweat, I personally do not risk not putting a satin spray, so that I use that in addition to this, so that I usually get that extra long wear. But I use the same routine with all of my other foundations, so that, you know, it's not singling this out per se. Matte finish, you do get a pretty much of a matte finish. You would see in the demo that my face did not look shiny whatsoever, so you do get an awesome matte finish. Fragrance free, yes, it's fragrance free, and when you apply it, you do realize that it's oil free. You don't feel that greasiness that you do get. You get some of the greasiness in the color stay and in the, I think, the Pro long wear, but I don't feel that greasiness with my 3-in-1. The CoverGirl 3-in-1 is an amazing dupe to this, simply because it's a long wear foundation. It has very similar claims. The only difference I find outside of price point is that it does not last as long as this, and I think this is slightly a little more full coverage than the CoverGirl 3-in-1. Do you need to at this point then go out and purchase the Kat Von D foundation? If you are someone who has really long days, or you are very active, this is definitely a good splurge. I would splurge on this as against my MAC Pro long wear. But the CoverGirl 3-in-1 works amazing, just the way, just as good pretty much for everyday regular use, and it's like a third or even less than a third of the cost of this. So that is an awesome dupe. If you can't get this, try the CoverGirl 3-in-1. But if you're gonna splurge and you're looking for a MAC foundation that's full coverage, I will definitely suggest this. It did not break me out, and it did stand through to my oily combination skin. It did go through. I wore this also on vacation, and my foundation stayed on. I got good pictures at the end of the day. I also went into the water, and it did not come off. That, you know, I did not have issues of my foundation coming off or any of that kind of stuff. It did stay put, but I mean, if you're going to be in the water for almost the entire day, then I think it's going to break down, especially if it's salt water. But this did stand up, and I love this. I think this is going to be my new holy grail foundation, as against my MAC Pro long wear. Sadly, I prefer this one. In rating this foundation, I would definitely give this foundation a 5 out of 5. I know for some of you going to be like price point, but I think it's absolutely worth every bit of it. I love it, and this would definitely be a repurchase. I do not think at this point in time I will be repurchasing my MAC Pro long wear. I'm definitely going to put the money out for this. Absolutely love this foundation. So I hope that this review was helpful for those of you who were really interested in it. I know I had like some requests to do this since last year, but yeah, I was just playing around with color and all of that. But I love this foundation, and definitely recommend it. 2 thumbs up. Amazing. Hi, so this is the end of the day, and I just thought I'll show you guys how it held up, and maybe a little closer up of it. So you can see the foundation did last pretty well. It stayed kind of put